All right, so we are live on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with Brad J here on this Thursday morning, talking about the Dodgers who got a big series win against the San Diego Padres.
That's an understatement, man. That was an absolutely huge win, needed to happen, and it goes back to what I always say, Mike. You always hear me say that. You gotta win the series. So if it's 3 games, you gotta win two, and they did just that. So big ups to the Dodgers for taking care of the business, and guys getting hit too, like Teo coming through, and like
Yeah, I mean
that's good
of
stuff.
course, a huge performance, of course, yesterday for Teo, like you mentioning, Brad. And then we got to talk, of course, about the pitching, which of course came through yesterday. Casparius, started out the game, went 4 innings, but then after that, it was the bullpen once again stepping up and having a pretty it's kind of funny because the Padres must be having nightmares about the Dodgers bullpen. Doesn't matter who they bring out there. I mean, going back to Game 4 of the NLDS, I mean, it was a bullpen game, and yesterday the Padres got to be, kicking themselves because they had a big chance, against the Dodgers pitching, but they just blew it.
Well, excuse me. Remember what was it? Robleski was scheduled
That's right.
on the website. He was scheduled to be the starter, and then so are they preparing for Robleski and thinking, "Oh, we got this guy," and then all of a sudden, last second, here we go, throwing a curveball at you and throwing Ben Casparius at him, and Ben did quite well, man. You got to give that dude serious credit because from what I've read today and what I read last night after the game, he's one of the 5 starters. That's what Dave Roberts said. So he is going to be a starter. So next time he plays, he starts, according to Dave Roberts. Do you
Yeah,
think
I
that's
mean,
well? Is that well deserved?
I would say so. I mean, I think he did a great job yesterday. One of the biggest quarter starts of his career,
Yeah.
for sure, out there in Petco Park. But I mean, I think you got to be feeling a lot better after this series win about this weekend because think about it, the Dodgers won a series against the Padres with all the injuries. I mean, really, they only had Dustin May was the only like real starter they had. Of course, they got destroyed in the second game, but I mean, still winning the series with everything that they're going through, it's gotta feel good. It'll give you a lot of momentum for this weekend.
Yeah, it's still holding on to first place. That's the craziest thing about this. No matter how many starting pitchers they've lost, no how many times guys didn't work out, no matter how many slumps that people have gone on, that shows you how potent they are when a team stumbles as hard as the Dodgers have actually stumbled, but still retain first place. I mean, that says it the best to me. And that's why I keep always saying I go back to the perfect storm when Snell comes back, when Glasnow comes back, when Sasaki comes back, and Kershaw's starting to throw good, and then maybe Kasparius is. I mean, that's a
And Otani.
yeah, and Otani to pitch too as well. I mean, come on, that's a perfect storm if this all happens the way this could just kind of what a difference it would be from last year limping into the postseason as opposed to coming in strong, firing on all cylinders, and having plenty of pitchers to choose from.
Yeah, it'd be a huge difference. And what's funny is that the Dodgers, like you're saying, Brad, I mean, have not even been the best that they can be, right? I mean, clearly
Not at
they're
all.
underperforming. They've been struggling, pitching. Basically, yesterday was the only game that they had solid pitching because game 1 and game 2 was
Yeah.
not the best. But let's talk about game 1. They went to extra innings. It was one of the best wins
Oh
of the
yeah.
Dodgers season. It was an exciting game. Back and forth in the first 2 innings. Dustin May giving up a bunch of runs, but the Dodgers putting up, as we saw, it was like, 5-5 after 3 innings, and then they go to extra innings. What did you think about Monday's game? That win
Well,
that set the tone.
I thought it was awesome because I think that going into it, a lot of people were saying, like a lot of Dodgers were saying, "Oh, it's just another game." Padres were saying, "Oh, it's just another game. It's just another game in the schedule." That's bull crap, dude.
We just saw Will
That's
Smith
just
say that
yeah,
he was kind
yeah.
of
Will
trying to
Smith said
make
it
it seem
too.
like it was the same like a regular game, but yeah.
I'm not buying that crap. You can say what you want, but deep down inside, you know that you have to play up for that team. You got to be ready to go because they're going to bring their A game at you, even though they haven't been hitting that well. But yet, you know they're going to play better than they normally do because teams step up to play the Dodgers. Teams play out of their category, I believe, when they play the Dodgers.
Yeah, but I don't know, Brad. But I think the Padres showed that they're not going to do anything this season. I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm speaking too early, but I really don't think this team is going to win the division. I mean, after the way they lost the series, and the Dodgers just have too many injuries for them to lose this series at home. Hey, we'll see what happens next week, but I don't know. I think this is a big blow to San Diego. I don't know what everybody thinks out there, but I think this is a huge blow to them.
I love this.
It has to be. I mean, come on, think about it. They had the Dodgers where they wanted them this week.
Yeah.
I mean, and they had a 3-game set at home, and they should have had game one after all the runs they scored on Dustin May, and yesterday too. I mean, yesterday was a big. The Dodgers basically were saying, we don't have a pitcher that we are really confident in, and we're just going to hope things work out, and it did work out. But for the Padres to only score 2 runs against the Dodgers yesterday is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and they had bases loaded a couple times.
Yeah.
Bases loaded with an out. I think bases loaded 2 different times where they just couldn't make anything happen. I mean, but then again, you got to also look at this. Padres were not really playing super good baseball leading up into the series against the Dodgers at Petco. So, I mean, but you always think a team that when they play, like I was saying, they're going to step up and play a little bit harder. But in that first game, it had that almost kind of playoff atmosphere to it. I mean, that's what it felt like just watching the whole game. But then it just seemed to kind of dwindle like game 2. The Dodgers lost. And then even yesterday did not even seem like what it was the first game. So there was all this hype. Oh, okay, the Dodgers and the Padres, new rivalry. And then all of a sudden it really didn't. The first game, sure, everybody was pumped in the first game, but I don't think it's there. And I think the Dodgers are going to handle them in L.A. I think they're going to handle them 3 of the 4 games. I'm already predicting that's going to happen.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, if that happens, I mean, that's just going to hurt San Diego even more because right now they're 2 games back. Right, and it's like, I just think you just start to run out of games to catch up, right? Because, I mean, they're not playing the Dodgers a lot like before. So these games that you do play against them, you have to take advantage if you're the Padres, right? Or like this weekend, right, with the Giants. But, I mean, I'm just saying, focusing on San Diego, who had a big chance playing at home, I think the Dodgers took care of business, and maybe they won't have to worry about San Diego as much moving forward.
Well, you better, if you're playing the Dodgers right now, you better beat them right now because they've been struggling, because the pitching hasn't been the best, and so there's been a lot of slumps on offense. This is the time that you need to beat the Dodgers because when they come back full strength and pitchers are coming back onto the field starting pitching, and then offense is firing up, well, they're not going to give up 4 to 5 runs in a game. They might only give up 2 runs, and the Dodgers, could end up winning 5-2 on those type of games. So it's like if you're going to use that opportunity to beat the Dodgers, now's probably your best opportunity because when they starting pitching back, it ain't going to be easy. It is not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I think the rest of the league should kind of think about. But the Dodgers offense, once again this week, I mean, they just showed outside of Tuesday, I mean, this is a really tough team to beat, right? I mean, there's so many weapons. They don't basically 1 through 9. I mean, basically everybody in this team is a danger for the other pitcher, right? And I think that's why the Dodgers are so hard to beat because you just can't really shut them down for more than 1 game. I mean, St. Louis did it for a couple games. That's been like the only team I think this year that has done that.
Angels,
and the Angels, right, too, somehow did it. But it's been very few teams that have done it this year. Basically, everybody has, the Dodgers have always had like a game where they come out and score like, 7, 8 runs. And that happened again this series. It happened twice, right? Yesterday scoring 5.
And Conforto's been chipping in. I mean, look, I'm not going to say he's there to stay, right? But he's batting 175, one for 4, but hit a home run. He's had a couple home runs in the last, 7 games or something like that. He's had some important runs that counted, one to help win the game in the 8th inning of a few games back. So your thoughts on Conforto? Do you still, if you're Dave Roberts, continue to send him out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to because I think like the front office said they're behind him, and I mean if he was struggling and they were still bringing him out there every day, I think now that like you said he's chipping in a little bit more, I think we're going to continue to see him out there, and I just hope he keeps it going right. This weekend now moving forward he's gonna be playing his old team out at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers and Giants kick off a 3-game set tomorrow night. The Giants are actually in second place right now, right? A game and a half back.
Yeah,
the Dodgers somehow. Yeah. I mean, it's been crazy, though, because the Giants, I've been seeing some of the games this week, and they've been coming back like every day, right? I mean, they came back twice against the Rockies, a win. They came back all weekend against the Braves as well. So it's taken a lot for the Giants to win these games, right? I mean, it's not like the Giants are cruising by. They're really struggling to win. And now they're going to take on a very good team in the Dodgers. And I really like the Dodgers' chances this weekend, despite what they're going through with the pitching. You got, of course, Yamamoto, Kershaw going this weekend. I really like. I don't know what you think, Brad, but I really like the Dodgers to take maybe all 3 games this weekend.
Yeah, I mean that's the call. What, Yamamoto first game, Kershaw second, and then May scheduled for the 3rd game. Yeah, I mean the May one is if you have a question mark. I have a question mark maybe on May's appearance on that 3rd one after what happened. It seemed like he was trying to place his pitches too much and wasn't just throwing. And
pitching on 5 days rest too.
Yeah, and then Kershaw. Very improving news on what Kershaw did his last outing, so you got to feel a little bit good about that. And then, come on, Yamamoto is going to be the first Japanese to win the Cy Young Award. Okay, so it's going to happen.
Pretty crazy.
It could happen. I like the way it lines up for the Giants, and what I really like about this for the Dodgers is you got a day off.
Yeah, today.
And you didn't travel very far. You came from San Diego to home.
Yep, not very far.
And you got a day off. And for them, they went through 8 pitchers for yesterday's game. 8 pitchers. Like that's taxing the bullpen a lot.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, like you said, they knew they had this day off coming, so that's why they planned it that way. The Giants have to play today against the Rockies, right? So they're not off. They're gonna have to play out in Denver. Hopefully they lose, and the Dodgers have a 2-game lead. If the Giants win, then it's gonna be a 1-game lead, so kind of a big game for them. But the Rockies have been just so bad this year that you hope the Rockies could pull out a W. They've been leading in like both of the games in the first 2 games of the series, but they haven't been able to close out a win. So hopefully they pull it out this afternoon.
Well, and that's why I think the Giants, where they're at second to the Dodgers, that's a temporary thing right there.
Yeah,
they're not playing that good of baseball. Yeah, like you said it yourself, they've come from behind against Colorado. It's like, well, those are teams you're supposed to beat.
Yeah, in both games. Yeah.
And so if you're the Giants, you need to handle them a little bit better than that. I mean, look, once again, they're in second place, but the Dodgers have not been firing on all cylinders, and once they start, it's going to be a whole different thing. It's going to be a whole different deal.
I mean, the only concern is because obviously, we're pretty hyped up after the Dodgers getting this win against the Padres, but the only, of course, issue is, of course, the Giants are going to be bringing out their best pitchers this weekend as well, right? Because they've been kind of throwing out their scrubs the last few days. So that's the one concern, right? I mean, usually when the Giants and Dodgers play, it is a low-scoring game. It is a tight one. And that's what I wanted to ask you, Brad. What do you think of the Dodgers this year in those kind of games? They haven't really done too well in those close 1 or 2 run games. And that's something that I think they haven't done well in that the last couple of years at all.
Yeah, well, how about run support for Yamamoto? I mean, they don't give Yamamoto gets nothing.
Yeah.
He gets nothing and likes it. It's like the Dodgers need to give him run support. And if they continue to do this, those games are just not even going to count because you're going to end up losing them. So Yamamoto needs some support. And the Dodgers could pick a really good time to show that support tomorrow because when it's those tight games, it's a tough one. But starting with Yamamoto, I feel our chances are pretty darn good for the Dodgers. And you know what? They can't not run support him the entire season. So at some point, turn on the hitting faucet and something's going to happen.
Yeah, you have to feel confident that eventually that will happen. And we got, what is it? Jeff saying Dodgers. I believe that talking about Giants are only half a game back. That's right. So looking at the standings, that's my mistake. Looking at the I thought I saw a game and a half. But yeah, so the Giants and Dodgers right now only half a game back. So the Giants win today. That's right, Jeff. They'll be tied up for first place, and of course the Dodgers have a 2-game lead on San Diego, right? So they'll be tied up going into the weekend if that happens.
And this is fun, and because it's just the Dodgers aren't playing super good baseball, and these teams are like challenging them. It's almost like, oh look, it's cute. You guys are like keeping up with the Dodgers, who are struggling right now. So once they just turn things on, I think everyone's going to be left in the dust. And the good news about pitching coming back, the good news about Shohei, you heard about him pitching what? He pitched 44 pitches, simulated 3 innings before one of those Padre games. and they said he looked good. Everything was moving. His location, he was placing pitches. He looked real good. In fact, he looked so good that the Dodgers saying, "Well, I guess we can't rule out him possibly starting before All-Star break." Thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I saw that report. What is it on Thursday? I think
Yeah.
Alden Gonzalez posted that about Ohtani potentially pitching earlier. Which I don't. I'm going to say I think some fans also commented this on the video. I'm going to disagree with that. I think the Dodgers should not rush him back in a month, because think about it, it's June 12th right now, and if we're talking about a timeline where he comes back a little bit before the All-Star break or around there, that would be in exactly 1 month. So to think Ohtani would be pitching in a month just doesn't seem realistic, right? I mean, does that seem realistic to you, Brad? That they would?
It does. It does. You know why it does?
Why?
Because he's at 3 innings already. He only has to go 5. So they're saying right now they're not rushing him, and they've refused to rush him. They're saying that if he moves on his steady diet of training and doing what he's doing to be able to pitch, then he will be ready, and it's not them rushing him. He'll be ready as the standards that they've set forth to him being ready, because he's moving so fast. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying, oh, you got to hurry him up, throw him out there. I saw a few people comment on the video saying that, don't put him out there in a hurry. It's like, look, I'm not saying to put him out there in a hurry. If he follows the rules and he can pitch 5 innings and he shows it, he's got location, he's got command, he's got velo. I mean, how do you hold back? If you need him, you would use him at that point, as long as he followed the protocol which they have set forward. So that's all I'm saying. Whatever their protocol is, if he follows that, well, why couldn't he pitch?
But that means that he would not get, you wouldn't give him any starts then, with a AAA team or a minor league team. Then he's just
not at all.
He's just gonna get that simulated, and he's gonna jump right into the Dodgers. Then there's no time to send him to the minors.
Yeah,
then.
no, and they already said that. Dodgers have already commented saying he would not do a rehab start. He would not go to OKC.
But you think that's a smart thing to do? Not give him a rehab start?
I mean, I guess I should probably think more about that, but
yeah, I mean, I would. I would at least. I don't know what everybody thinks, but I think I would at least give him one start facing minor league hitters, right? Because it's a big step up to go out there and pitch on a Major League Baseball mound without any. I mean, think about it, like Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin. These guys all had rehab starts before they got a shot to go with the big club, right? I mean, they all did. Normally that's what a pitcher would get, and of course you have to take some time off to go do that. And I think the Dodgers should think about doing that. Give him a few days off to go down to Oklahoma City and do a start.
I agree to a point, but I don't think he needs that. I really feel that, what is he, a career 3.08 or something like that, ERA?
Yeah.
He is so good as it is. He's a phenom. And I'm not saying you do this with every pitcher, but in his situation, I think you have to take every single pitcher case by case. And it's like with his case right there, because he's a two-way player, because he contributes with his bat, I think that he would be the one guy that I would accept, because he's throwing to minor league guys that they're having come out and face him. So he is throwing to the guys. And he's
just not in a real game, though. Not
a real game. Yeah. Granted, not a real game, but he's looking real good. I just don't see how, if he's ready and he's followed the protocol and he can throw 5 innings. Look, he threw 44 pitches. If he's throwing 65 or 70 pitches, then there's no reason why he shouldn't be up there. And no, I don't believe he should be. I think he should be the exception to that rule. It's like, you don't have to go down for a rehab with him. Other pitchers, I wouldn't say that for. I wouldn't say that for Kershaw nowadays, but maybe back in the day when he was super young. But Shohei, I think you have to give him that.
You see, now the question is going to be, of course, like, what Ohtani are we going to see on the mound, right? Because like Ohtani, it's a big question mark, right? Like Ohtani's, obviously, right now focused on being the Dodgers' designated hitter every day, and now the Dodgers are going to give him this extra, responsibility, right? If he starts pitching as a starter once a week. So what kind of Ohtani do you think, we're going to see? I mean, that's on the mound, right? I mean, of course, offensively, you hope that it continues what he's doing. The Dodgers really need that. But what do you think of Ohtani on the mound 2 years later, right? Is it going to be the same one? That's a big question I think everybody has to have.
Yeah, I have been following, though, when he does his when he does his stuff before the game, when he pitches, like he takes the mound and pitches to actual live hitters. I've been following what he's doing, and he's getting hits in those games. He's getting only one hit, like 1 for 5. I think the last 2 times he's done that. So I've been paying attention to it. So it doesn't seem like that's affecting it. But then again, it's not a full game, like you said. It's not a full-on simulation. It's just you're facing batters. So
Yeah, but
you're
think about it,
facing
even if he
live hitters.
starts, if he gets a start with the Dodgers, I really don't think he's going to go more than 5 innings, like 4 or 5 innings at first. I mean, do you really think they're going to put this guy out there for 90 pitches, 95 pitches after 2 years of being out? I just don't see that happening.
I mean, I felt that when they sent Yamamoto out this year for 110. I thought that was a little much for a guy who just got out of a surgery the last year. So I thought, maybe you'd protect him as well. But
I mean, Sawyer just pitched 110 on Tuesday too, and he kept looking over to the dugout trying to come out. So that was
no, you're staying in.
Yeah, that was
Kike's coming in to pitch later.
I know, but come on, that was a funny situation on Tuesday, Brad. I mean, the guy clearly wanted to come out of the game at least an inning or two earlier, and the Dodgers held him out there. They're like, no, we need you to go, over 100 pitches. That was a bit much. Wasn't it a little bit too much, I think, on Tuesday? I mean, over 100 pitches for a guy that was getting totally beat up by San Diego.
But Roberts thanked him in the media afterwards and said, hey, he ate up some innings for us. And he complimented on what he did. But then you also did you hear the story about the former Padre All-Star, Will Myers, that said that it was embarrassing that Kiké was out there pitching in the 6th inning?
I didn't see that. No. What happened with that?
So there's an article on that one that Will Myers said it was absolutely embarrassing. And what else he said? He goes, the first time that Kiké wore that pitcher's helmet out there, it was funny. This time it was just embarrassing, is what he said. And he goes, San Diego, that's your rival? Like a question mark.
Will Myers. It's funny because he retired early then. He's only 34 years old, and he hung it up early.
Yeah, well, he had that to say.
Yeah.
Do you think that's embarrassing?
I don't know. I don't mind it. I wish more teams would do it. I think the Dodgers, at this point, especially in that game, it was over, right? I mean, that baseball game was done. The Dodgers were not going to win that game. And if they have somebody out there that they could use in those situations when they're ahead by a lot of runs or down by a lot of runs, I don't mind it at all, right? And I think people are just a little bit too sensitive sometimes to things here in baseball. I mean, honestly, that's just how it is, man. That's one of the things I don't like about baseball, that people are just too sensitive with things that you do, right? And I think it's kind of annoying, to be honest,
Well, I mean, I would challenge Will Myers with this. I mean, okay, so you have Kiké come out in a blowout, a rout, and he's a position player in the 6th inning, meaning you've already conceded the game, right? So did it work? Well, yeah, they won the next game and they used 8 pitchers.
Yeah.
So I would say that actually worked. So you can. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Padre fans they're just butthurt. They're sore losers. Come on.
You're reaching. I mean, look at the final outcome. The final outcome is they used less bullpen guys because they brought Kiké in. They conceded the loss. They knew they were done. And so the next day, they get a win because they used 8 pitchers. So I don't know. Seems like a smart decision to me to put the position player in and save the bullpen, especially when you're using the crap out of that bullpen and making them work 10 times harder than they should have to if they had starting pitching that was there and healthy.
Let me tell you something, Brad. Yesterday I was talking to somebody that's like a diehard Padres fan. She went to school with me, and Padre fans are like really pissed off right now. I mean, it's really funny, to be honest, because they're totally incensed by the Dodgers and everything they've been doing in the offseason. They're really pissed off about Roki Sasaki and Tanner Scott. So basically, they just hate us. And it's just everything we do, they're not going to like it. So I think we really can't please the Padre fans. I talked to one yesterday, and they're pissed off right now.
Yeah. Well, Jeff comments, he goes, who cares what Will Myers thinks? Kiké wears that helmet every time he pitches. And, hey, he's throwing meatballs. It's like, I'd be wearing a softball full face. If I'm pitching from that mound and throwing meatballs at dudes who can have 110 miles per hour velocity leaving the ballpark, no way. And if you're going to use a position player to pitch, why not use Pajes? He threw that assist yesterday.
Yeah, pretty wild.
That ball went 99 miles an hour.
Yeah.
He threw that thing 99 miles an hour from the outfield to get that assist and get the out.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty
have
wild.
him pitch.
Yeah.
He already shows that he can throw
Yeah.
near 100. So.
But I just like Kiké doing it because he's got the really cool helmet. So I think nobody else is gonna be able to wear it, and it's not gonna look the same if somebody else wears it. So
no, that thing's gonna go down. That thing's gonna go down in history.
Yeah.
Right there. That is absolutely silly right there.
Everybody hates the Dodgers. That's it. Everybody hates this. It's all right.
I mean, there was people commenting on the video last time saying that we were gonna get swept by the Padres.
Yeah.
And it's like, here we are. That series is over. Dodgers win it. And it goes back to, you got to win the series, man. You got 3 games. You better win 2. That's how you do it. And if Dodgers just keep that going, that kind of attitude, But how about Ha-Seong Kim? Let's talk about Kim for a little bit here.
Yeah. I mean, the guys continue to be great, right?
Yeah. And then you got, so you got right now, Edman's ankle's been a little sus, right? His ankle's been a little hurt right there.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. And then you also had Teo, who's, he was kind of opening up. Adrian Gonzalez was saying on the broadcast that he's been opening his hips up on his swing, and that's why he's been swinging weird through the ball. So I listened to Agon. That dude knows his stuff. And so you got him, struggling a little bit. So shouldn't that mean with Edman and with Teo, and shouldn't that mean that Kim definitely should be starting and against the Giants? Give them another break. I'd definitely give Edman another break if that ankle's acting up.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Brad. I think Kim should be starting tomorrow night against the Giants, right? I think that'd be the right decision. Kim is at 100% right now. He's playing great. He's not dealing with any injuries that we know of, and he continues to show that he really belongs in the major leagues, right? Because I think remember at the beginning of the year, Brad, we were kind of questioning whether Kim was gonna really find a spot on this team. He really was gonna be part of the Dodgers. He really was a Major League Baseball player, and I think he proved everybody wrong. I think he clearly deserves a spot on this team, and he's not going anywhere, right? He's staying with the team the rest of the year, and he's really helped out the Dodgers, I think, and basically. A lot of his offense has been super important for the Dodgers so far.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that, but with the struggles we've seen from the guys, like even Conforto, it's like I feel like there's more opportunities for Kim to play, and I think he needs to be out there. And I think during the Giants, why not? Man, if Edman's ankle is he's the perfect replacement for Edman because Edman can play second, Kim can play second. Edman can play center field, Kim can play center field. So it's like if you want Edman's ankle to get a little bit better, give him another day. Let Kim start and let him do what he's been doing because, I mean, triples, doubles, and that swing of his, that follow-through that he has is so good. His style is just fun to watch because, he just loves playing baseball.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you could see, like you said, Brad, he's got a really good swing. He's able to, make contact, and he runs super fast, too, right? I mean, he's got so much speed, which is kind of crazy. The Dodgers have so many players that can really run, which makes them really dangerous on the base paths. Some teams don't have at all players like that. The Dodgers do. The Dodgers have a lot of speed on the bases. And I think obviously that's intentional, right? The Dodgers want a fast team to steal bases, to beat out those throws at first base, and that's why they've gone out and recruited this kind of team, right?
Well, that's the kind of ball that Roberts played. Doc was that kind of a player.
Yeah.
He was that one guy, that you would bring in that you needed a base stolen or a guy to spark the offense off. So he's very much like him. And here's Ray. Ray goes back to what you're saying about Padres hating on us.
There we go.
They hate us because they ain't us. Let's go, Blue.
That's right, Ray. That's right. Yeah. They hate us because it's just so obvious. Because I've talked to people that don't root for the Dodgers, and it's just a constant, basically anger about, well, you guys sign all these players and you guys are taking everybody and it's not fair. It's just a constant complaining. It's just funny how baseball fans are like the biggest complainers, right? I think out of all the sports, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of people out there that just complain way too much in this sport. Well, it's kind of annoying.
You also got to feel very fortunate. I feel very fortunate being that, born in Los Angeles, and my dad was a full-on Dodger fan. So I was born into a Dodger fan household immediately, and there was no one else to root for.
Yeah.
It was only the Dodgers, listening to Vince Scully. And then I was thinking about other people who do what we do and have to do that for other teams. And I was like,
I mean, that's
and
gotta be the worst, man. Yeah.
I mean, every day you got to come on after a loss and just try to explain everything again. Like
Yeah.
the dudes who do the Padres show.
Yeah.
Like, I feel
That's a
bad
bad
for those
job,
dudes.
man. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Sorry, man.
I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if you know Brad, but Steve Sachs, Dodger legend. He actually has to do the athletics broadcast right now, so he's got to come out there and talk about the A's every day. That must be a rough job for Sachs, man. Love Steve Sachs.
In Sacramento.
In Sacramento,
too.
he moved up to Northern California after his Dodger days were done, and he's been up there for a while. And right now he's working for the A's, but that must be a rough job, man. Working for the A's.
Trying to play up it's like my dad used to call polishing a turd. It gets so rough after a while to have to do that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just funny because like I said, I think the Dodgers, like you're saying, we're very fortunate to be Dodger fans. But I don't know, Brad. But it hasn't been easy though. I mean, think about it. Before this little run we've been having, it has not been easy to be a Dodger fan. I mean, the Dodgers only won 88 until 2020. A lot of years went by before they won a World Series. A lot of years went by before they made a World Series. And then in the last 2 years, they've had so many disappointments in the playoffs that, I mean, it is. I think we kind of deserve now what's happening because it's been very hard. I think everybody can agree with that. Being a Dodger fan has not been easy in the last 10 years. It's just been so much disappointment. I mean, there's been some happy moments, but a lot of disappointment.
I'll go back to my DJ days for the Dodgers, 2003 to 2008. Those were horrible years.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were horrible years because the horrible ownership, people that didn't spend money and people didn't try to get players. It was the McCourt family. I mean, you look back at that and then you look at other teams like Colorado, who spends like 28th on the list every single year compared to all MLB teams. Your owners, I mean, if that's your team, if you back a team that does not put money into the team, then that's what you're going to get. And you might get lucky, get a wild card someday and, make it out of one round. But that's all you're going to get if they don't take a vested interest in trying to make the team better. So when people complain like that, that's what I laugh at. Hey, Paul Vaughn says Sachs was from the Sacto area.
Okay. Yeah. We love Steve Sachs. He's welcome anytime here on the show. So try to get him on the show.
huge fan. I got to see him play live when I was a kid. But he's, for him, look, he's living in Sacramento. But they're not going to play there the next year. They're going to play in Vegas. How's that going to be?
I know. That's going to be wild, man. Yeah.
The stadium looks awesome. So I definitely want to see the Dodgers going against them in that stadium in Vegas and make the road trip.
I'm definitely going to go to Vegas to go see the Dodgers over there. I don't know about Sacramento. Sacramento's a little bit too hot for me, Brad. It's like 100 degrees every day in the summer.
It is. It is. I've done events there.
Yes.
Paul Vaughn says this. He goes, 2008, 2009, Manny Ramirez, Kershaw, and Matt Kemp was so fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
2008, that was the year I was done DJing, so that's when Kershaw had his first year.
Isn't that when Manny showed up, though?
Yeah.
So you were there. Okay.
It was Jeff Kent, J.D. Drew.
Yeah.
It was guys like that. It was
James Loney.
James Loney, Kevin Brown pitching.
Russell Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that team. Yeah.
But the most fun I ever had was DJing when Gagne used to come in.
Okay.
There is nothing better than those days, the game over days.
Yeah.
When Gagne would come out of that bullpen, we would have the binoculars just fixed. It's Gagne coming in, and everyone's panicking at Dodger Vision. Everybody's wondering what's going on. Is he coming in? And then as soon as you'd see him, it's Gagne. He'd have his mitt on top of his head and fire the song off. Welcome to the Jungle, and it has that guitar riff at the start of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was some fun stuff. I would love to have a closer like that on the Dodgers currently, to where we could have just this heavy rocking song that comes in and everybody knows what's coming.
The problem is though that with modern baseball, you just don't have a regular closer anymore.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks.
Like that anymore.
I mean, before it was all like who's coming in, and it was. I don't know. I miss those days. I just now you just don't know, right? Because they're always moving the guys around because of analytics and all that.
Matchups. It's all about matchups now.
It's all about matchups. Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at guys coming up in 2 innings from now and where you're going to match up against them. So you're not like, oh, let's get to the ninth so we can bring in the closer. It's like, no, it doesn't even go like that anymore.
Yeah, it's a lot different. And
Can we give Freddie props though, real quick here? What is he? 43rd on the all-time doubles list right now. 529 career doubles for Freddie Freeman. That's massive. 43rd on
that's
the list.
crazy. That's
You know
wild.
what the record is?
What's the record?
793
And who had that?
doubles. Some guy by the name of Tris Speaker.
Oh,
way
long
back
time
years.
ago, over 100 years ago.
Yeah. So he did have to hit another 260 something.
Yeah.
Can he hit another 260 doubles in his career? 10 more years, he could, right?
Yeah, but that's crazy that Freddie has that many doubles. I mean, it's a guy that, like you're saying, he's been so good for the Dodgers so far this year. He's really hitting the ball well. He looks like the old Freddie from the World Series, which is kind of crazy because I thought, we were going to see an older Freddie. But, I don't know. I was talking about Freddie Freeman, was it yesterday or a couple days ago on my show, and I was saying, Freddie Freeman is really good now, and then, he probably has a couple years left, right? But that's going to be the next big decision, right? Because, like, with Max Muncy or, Dalton Rushing, who's going to be the next guy that's going to take his spot at first base, right? In a couple years, that's going to be the new thing, the talking point, right? And I think that's something the Dodgers have to think about when they decide whether they're going to extend Muncy or not, because he could potentially be that first baseman who comes in and kind of gives Freddie days off when Freeman is no longer able to play every day.
Man, that to me would be I don't know. I don't see Muncy being on the team more than just this year right now.
Oh, really?
So it's hard for me to look.
You don't think
Muncy.
They'll give him that option for next year?
Man, it's hard to say. I mean, it depends what
He's
he
been
does
playing
too.
well, though.
He has been playing well. I'm not saying not to.
Yeah.
By no means, because there's a lot of people who were down on Muncy at the start of that season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you saw the comments.
Trade Muncy.
On the videos. Yeah. Get rid of Muncy. Get rid of Muncy. Muncy.
What about now, guys? We can't trade Muncy now, right? I mean, God.
And I've said that. What do you say now about Muncy? But it is hard to believe that he would still be on the Dodgers another year from now. I would think that something would happen because I think he's 36 or I don't know. But I feel like Freddie has, 3 to 5 years of solid play. Not 3 to 5 years and done, but like still 3 years. He's
really?
Still Freddie Freeman. I mean, but he's got to, at some point in his career, he'll have to be able to take those days off that he doesn't like to take.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to adjust that down the road.
Yeah.
You can't play every day in your mid-30s like that. No, there's no way you do that.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable, and he's got to know that at some point where he's got to embrace the day off, take the day off.
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now it's like,
that's a pretty hot take, Brad, though, with Max Muncy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't. If you asked me at the beginning of the season, I'd say this is his last year. Now at the middle point of the season, I'm like, I think this is his last year.
I mean, I don't. I'm gonna say I think the Dodgers are gonna exercise that team option on him. I don't know if they give him the like I said yesterday. I think it's a mistake for the Dodgers to give him the multi-year extension because I think like it just has not been as because some people are saying, oh no, give him a 3-year contract, lock him up. That would be a mistake. I think that's a huge mistake if they do that.
Yeah, no way 3-year contract.
Yeah, that's what he wants, though. I mean, if you ask, I'm sure he wants it, though, right?
Yeah, that's giving him a Teo contract. Right there, basically, is what that is. You're not doing that. If anything, it's a 1-year deal, is what I would offer him, and see how that works. That's about.
Well, yeah, the team option, the $10 million team option that they have on him.
Did you read what Grizz wrote right here?
What's going on? Still the worst defensive third baseman in Major League Baseball. Still can't hit above 250. Muncy is a bigger. Oh, come on, Grizz. I mean, I don't understand all the hate for Muncy. I mean, the guy has been really good the last few weeks. We have to at least give him that, right?
I like what you said. He's been really good the last few weeks.
I mean, come on.
No, but I don't know. I just think that there's something else you could do to replace Max, I think, next year. And I think that Max has meant a lot for the team. Awesome. Let's play it year by year, or moment by moment, or game by game, and see what he does. See what he does the second half of the season. See what he does in the playoffs. And then, you know what? If it's worthy and you want to give him, a 1-year contract, I think you give him a 1-year contract. If he performance-based, you got to perform the second half. You can't just, show up and do nothing.
But see, the thing is, Brett, if the Dodgers decide not to give him that team option, right? Let's say they say, you know what, it didn't go so well for him. They're not going to give it to him. I just don't see, if they don't get Nolan Arenado, I mean, what other options do they have at third base, right? And then you lose that possibility of having somebody that could play first base as well, because that's what makes Muncy a valuable player. He knows how to play first base, right? I mean, he knows how to do it. Maybe he's not Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman is an excellent first baseman. He's one of the best in Major League Baseball, defensively. I mean, he plays the position perfectly. I mean, Muncy is not the best option, but he is an option. And if we decide to let Muncy go, I don't know. That's where I'm a little bit concerned about not giving him that team option. The Dodgers can have him for one more year. Next year, he can't do anything about it. I mean, it's a team option. If they opt him in, he's on the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
And it's a bargain deal, $10 million for next year, right? Because Muncy's going to want like 15 or so from another team, which seems like a lot of money, but I think there'll be some teams out there that might give it to him, a 3-year, $45 million contract.
Yeah, and we haven't seen rushing play, right? And one thing what people haven't said is Will Smith playing third. Like, Will Smith was a third baseman. Like, Will Smith could play third. Like,
oh yeah, but I don't know if that's not going to happen.
That position beats you up, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have Fiducia and you have Dalton.
Yeah.
Two. I mean, not as good as Will the Thrill.
But I mean, no, Will Smith's going to be the Dodgers catcher. I don't see that happening.
Do you think as he gets older, though, they would possibly go, you know what? Let's get you in a position that
I don't know.
Takes because catcher takes a lot out.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. But third base does too. I mean, playing there at an older age is not going to be easy also. So I don't know. I think if the Dodgers are committed on Smith being the everyday catcher, I really think they are.
They are.
I mean, they gave him a 10-year contract. I mean, he's the best catcher in baseball. I mean, come on. I talked about this the other day. He's the best catcher in the entire Major League Baseball. And I don't know if anybody. I think you have to agree. And we're not being biased here. He's the best catcher right now in baseball.
He is the best catcher in baseball.
Yeah,
I agree. But all I talk about is looking about 3 to 4 years down the road. Is there a way to ease up on him a little bit like that, and maybe not use him in that position? Well, then, and if that's the case, I mean, what do you do with Fiducia if you're not going to bring him up at all? Is he just stuck in no man's land?
He's trade bait. He's trade bait. That's what he is.
Then you got to start making decisions like that, which they could. They could do that.
Because, see, like, here's why Dalton Rushing gets the edge over Fiducia, right? Because Rushing could play the outfield too, right? He's not just a catcher, right? And I think that's why the Dodgers, are all in on this guy, because they think, man, even if he doesn't get a lot of time as a catcher, let's say we have injuries in the outfield, Rushing could move in there and be an outfielder, right? And I don't know Rushing if they're going to teach him how to play first base too, because he's another potential opportunity. It could be another potential first baseman there for the Dodgers. I don't know if you know.
Sure.
Has he played first base? Yeah, I don't think he has, right? Rushing?
No, I don't think he has at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
But you'd have to. I mean, now with Dodgers, they want utility guys. They want as many guys on the bench could play outfield and infield. That's just how they are.
Even the catcher.
Even the catcher.
Which is nuts, right? Because before, catchers would never play any other position, right? I mean, they only played catcher. I mean, that was like the name of the game for baseball for decades, right? And now the Dodgers are even challenging that and having a basically Rushing a guy that can get behind the plate and go out in the outfield, which is nuts.
100%. Here's one from Roy. Says, once we get healthy pitching-wise, we'll be hard to beat. I've said that. I will continue to say that all the way through. When we get healthy pitching-wise, we're definitely going to be hard to beat. Grizz Monster, I'm more concerned about how many extra pitches our guys have to throw. Muncy has committed 1/3 of all errors by the team. And even Muncy will tell you, he's had some errors. A lot more than he normally has. And is he at 10? I think he might be at 10 by now.
And I think that's what's pissed the Dodger fans off, right? I mean, obviously the errors, I think, is what kind of people are not happy about, because obviously, you don't want to see – the Dodgers have made way too many errors this year, right? Not just Muncy. The Dodgers in general really have to work on that, because, come on, errors are like the worst in baseball, right? And I think that's something that we're going to have to look at the second half of the year, that they can clean that up for the playoffs, because come playoff time, if they do that, I mean, it's not going to be good.
How would you grade Mookie Betts right now on his shortstop performance? right now thus far in the season. Here we are, almost midway point. Mookie has pretty much held down that position all season. How would you grade him
Yeah,
in
I
a
mean,
regular
I
season
think
show?
it's like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I mean, personally, like I think I've said this. I like Betts in the outfield, better. But the Dodgers, of course, have decided to move him to the infield on an everyday basis, which I don't really agree. The Dodgers, of course, that shortstop position continues to kind of like plague them since they lost Corey Seager. They haven't really found a real shortstop. And I mean, he's been good though. It hasn't been bad. But I'm just saying he's like 7 or 8 out of 10. I wish it could be better. The guy is an outfielder. He'll always be an outfielder for me.
Yeah, well, as far as I like that you give him a 7. I'd have to say for me, Betts on his grade, I'd have to give him 4 stars right now.
4 out of 5. Yeah.
I'd give him 4 out of 5. I'd give him 8 out of 10. I think that he is a determined player and he is a competitor through and through. And if you tell him that he needs to do this and get good at it, he's a perfectionist and he'll get good at it. I feel like he could be a Gold Glove, maybe not obviously this year, but I feel like he could be in the future for sure.
Well, he's worked really hard to learn the position, right? I mean,
real hard.
Yeah, which is not easy.
Here's the grades right now. We got some grades.
Oh, we got some grades. Wow, B minus, C plus. Wow.
Grizz gives him a 5. Is that a 5 out of 10?
A 5, yeah. Or is it a 5 out of 5? Maybe he's saying 5 out of 5, right?
Red in the ledger, B minus. Raider Man, C plus. Jeff Roll, B plus. And Roy Estrada, B plus. I give him a B plus too. I like that.
I would give him a B.
Maybe I might go A minus on that. So.
A minus. Wow. Okay. I don't know, Brad. The guy's an outfielder. Come on.
Yeah, but they're not going to change him.
No, they're not.
They've made their just like they've already if you talk to Brandon Gomes, what he's already said about Conforto is in the plans to be on the team through the whole season and be a part in the postseason too as well.
Yeah.
So he's not going anywhere. So people that start saying, "Oh yeah, well he needs to go," like they're not gonna, or Betts needs to go back to right field. He's not gonna. They're not gonna do it. The change has been made. We're just gonna have to accept it,
Yeah.
And move on from there.
No, and I think like this weekend, Conforto playing his old team. Maybe we're gonna see something special for Michael, right? I mean, come on, he's playing the Giants team that he was on last year. Of course, at Dodger Stadium, but it's the first time he's played the Giants since leaving.
He was on the Mets too, wasn't he? So
yeah,
and he played well against the Mets.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe there might be some truth to what you're saying here.
Maybe last year at 20 home runs for them. Maybe he knows the pitchers, and I don't know. I think we have to give Conforto. The guy is like you said, Brad. He's not going anywhere, so you just have to hope that he does better. Right? We can't all get on here and say trade Conforto, cut him, release him, send him to OKC, because that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
They've already
said
it. Yeah. Every single person in the Dodgers have said that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts, Friedman, Gomes, all of them have said he is part of the plans for the Dodgers this year and in the postseason. So Conforto haters at this point, look, I'm not going to want to say that I was a Conforto hater, but I was definitely, let's just say, concerned when his batting average was really low. It's at 175 right now. It's still low, but it's moving in the right directions, and he's getting key hits. He's getting key RBIs. So I like what they're saying. They've said they're staying with him. They're not changing, just like they're not going to change Betts back out to right field.
The Jeff Rolls saying Conforto needs to show up against the Giants. Yeah, I would have to agree with him. I think we need Conforto to show up. And then Roy's saying, talk about Pajes becoming a star. I mean, Andy Pajes has become a star for the Dodgers. I mean, the guy is a young player, still on his rookie deal, but he's really showing that he's a special player, right? And also, that's another player that, remember at the beginning of the year, I was talking about it too. Trade this guy. Doesn't look like a player that's going to stick around, but he's really proved me wrong. He's proved a lot of people wrong, and I don't think the Dodgers would trade him either.
Yeah, I mean, the way that assist from last night too, that throw, that thing was on the money, 99 miles an hour, a BB to Will Smith. That was just And the funny thing is, remember Pajes like last year and the year before, just like, oh man, he's just struggling. He's struggling, and he's one of those guys that struggles. And even Roberts said, you just have to leave him alone. you don't want to over info him and just say, well, what you're doing is you're dropping your elbows, just coming down, and you're moving your hips, and you don't tell him all that stuff. He's gonna figure it out on his own, and that's what even Dave said about him. And look at Pajes becoming a star indeed. Thanks, Roy, for that one. That was good.
We got what is it? Grizz saying Mookie is a great left fielder, an average second baseman, but just average at shortstop. What do you think about that? I'm going to agree here with Grizz. I think he's an average shortstop when it comes to his field.
So his 5 was 5 out of 10.
I guess so. Well, no, that's a failing grade, Brad. 5. Okay. That's an F.
So what is that? 7 grade? Yeah. Is that what you're giving him?
I mean, he's not. I mean, come on, he's not like it's true. I mean, he's a great outfielder. I mean, I think he is. He's obviously done a good job at shortstop, but to say he's great at shortstop, I don't know if he's really there yet. At least in my eyes, yet.
No, but I just think that they're not changing.
Yeah.
Unless something happens that in the offseason, I just don't see. I think they're happy with what he's doing, and they're going to send him there. But are you happy about Teo's fielding in the outfield? Because Eric Cruz says Teo's fielding is atrocious. he just jogs out there.
Man.
I mean, the couple of those myths, like he slides feet first, or he's not even close to catching it. It's like, what? What do you do? That's something like I would do. Are you kidding me? Like,
man, all I'm seeing here with all the comments, guys, has been great. I mean, Dodger fans are really tough on their players when it comes to the fielding. I mean, we're really tough on these guys. I mean, I don't know. I think Teo's all right. I think he's a good fielder. I mean, he's not great, but I think he's a good fielder. I mean, he gets the job done.
When you're a Dodger fan, you're a fan of a world champion team.
Yeah.
Right? World champions all the way through. So you expect a lot more. So Dodger fans, we as Dodger fans expect so much more than we talk about the teams that other guys have to announce and do this job, about teams that are always third place or fourth place. And
the Milwaukee Brewers.
You just, as a Dodger fan, you don't have to do that because they're always going to be in it to win it.
Yeah, no, for sure. We got an all-star team here. The Dodgers have so many. Think of how many future Hall of Famers we have on this team. I mean, come on. This team is stacked up. In like 20, 30 years, they're going to talk about the 2025, the 2024 Dodgers, and they're going to remember all the amazing players that we had. I mean, that's just how it's going to be.
And especially, like we said, I've always predicted the Dodgers to go back-to-back and win the World Series this next year too. So especially if they do that, if they fulfill that and they go back-to-back or they go back-to-back-to-back, this team will go down as one of the best teams in the history of baseball. There's no way it does not, especially if you compete and you win and you do it multiple times.
And it's going to solidify them as the best Dodger team ever. I mean, the best era of the Dodgers, right? Because the Dodgers have never, think about it, have the Dodgers really ever had a dynasty? I don't think they have. They've never, in their franchise history, maybe the late 70s, early 80s had the potential to be a dynasty. Unfortunately, only got one World Series. They should have won more, right? I mean, think about it, the late 70s, early 80s. They had the team to put together multiple championships. They only won one, though.
Yeah, by getting beat by the Yankees, those two World Series back-to-back, and then getting some redemption, winning in 81.
Yeah.
But then the next one was 88, so there was only two then. So it's like,
well, it was a totally different team in 88, though, right? That's what I'm saying. That late 70s, early 80s team had the potential to win multiple championships, kind of like this team, right? And so far, this team has won one. So can they win more than that team?
That's why I hate Reggie Jackson right there. That's why I will never be a fan of Reggie Jackson. As a kid, watching him do his Mr. October thing still to this day. And then I know people that have met him.
Yeah.
He says that he's a jerk.
Yeah.
He's a jerk. And I go, of course he's a jerk. That's Reggie Jackson. I hate that guy, man. Still to this day.
Yeah.
It's like hating Terry Bradshaw back in the day when as a kid being a Rams fan.
Yeah, for sure.
The Steelers beat the Rams.
Same
I don't want to get into it, but But Reggie just, oh, man. Yeah. Dodgers. And then you go back even farther than that. Like, they were a joke in the 50s when they were in New York.
Yeah, well, they won one World Series, right?
Yeah, it wasn't until then. Then everybody, they could never keep up with the Yankees back in the day.
That's why they've never had a dynasty, Brad. I don't think I don't know what everybody thinks out there, but the Dodgers have never really had a team you could say, oh, that was a dynasty. They won multiple championships. This team was winning year after year after year. They've never had that. So this could be the first time in franchise history, like you're saying, they go back-to-back, which they have never done, and then they could win 3 in a row or whatever, right? Now they could kind of say this is the first Dodgers dynasty in franchise history, going all the way back to the Brooklyn Dodger days, which is kind of crazy, right? Because the Dodgers have been around for so long.
And that's why not just Giant fans, that's why Yankee fans are jerks.
Yeah.
Because they've had 2 dynasties. They had the dynasty back in the 20s and the 30s, and they had the dynasty in, what was it?
The 90s.
Was it 90s? Yeah, the 90s when they got 3
in a row.
Like yeah. So they've been that. They've done that. And the Dodgers need to solidify who they are by doing that exact same thing.
Yeah, and I think it's important, Brad. I think it really is important. I mean, I think some people are saying, oh, no, they won last year. It doesn't matter what they do this year. And I disagree. I think it really matters because the Dodgers have never done this ever in history of their team. You know, we're going to be talking about this like for the next few months because the Dodgers are going to be in first and going to be competing. But I think that's something that we're going to have to kind of focus on when October comes around because the Dodgers are going to be on the brink of making franchise and baseball history if they get the job done.
That's 100%. Oh, well, here's one. Tim Rash says, if we had replay in 1977, the Dodgers would have been world champs. That's true. Lasorda took his hatred for Reggie Jackson to his grave.
Yeah, wow. I can imagine that. Yeah.
Roy, Reggie Jackson is like Barry Bonds, an a-hole. When he played for the Angels, said hello, and he said, hold my beer.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I know we got to wrap things up here, but I'll say this. The perfect storm is coming.
It's coming.
Dodger fans, the perfect storm is coming because Ohtani's going to be pitching soon. Snell, Glasnow, Sasaki, and now Kasperius is showing up. I mean, it's going to come. And what the Dodgers have done by holding on to first place for as long as they've done with the struggles they had, just wait. Just wait. When we start getting one pitcher back after another, that's another guy out there that's less taxing on the bullpen, gives the offense a chance to get busy. And the Dodgers are going to do it. The perfect storm is coming. Dodger fans, this is going to be one of the best seasons ever for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Boom.
Man, I hope so. And this weekend, got to, watch these games against the Giants. Was it Friday? Sunday is a national game. And then next week, 4 against the Padres. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing all these games. Yeah, 10 games.
10 games in a row. 4 Padres, 3 Giants, and 3 against Washington.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty fun. Well,
can't wait, man.
That's going to wrap it up here for Dodgers Digest. Take it away, Brad.
Hey, thank you so much, you guys, being part of it. Subscribe, like, turn on notifications. I'm Brad J. He's Mike Nelson. We know what we're doing. We're having fun. Fastest growing station out there. As you grow through your day, just simply do this. Think Dodger Blue, and let's go Dodgers.
That's right. Let's go Dodgers.